Hello, Ashley. Thanks for making some time to talk about your experience playing abroad. Let's so
Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk a
Hi.
bit.
Thanks for
Let,
having me.
let's start maybe by introducing yourself. For those who don't know you, can you quickly introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, sure. My name is Ashley Hoffman. I am 23 and I've been on the USA national team for 3.5 years now. I currently am in The Hague, Netherlands, playing in the Hoofdklasse with HDM. So we actually just entered another 4-week quarantine, but before that we were 5-1 on the season, I think ranked third. So we were having a really good time. But yeah, now I'm here. I'm also a sport ambassador. So that's me. And a
Okay.
yoga
Cool.
teacher.
And sorry.
And a yoga teacher.
All right, cool. Plenty of things to talk about. If we let's focus a bit on your experience now in the Netherlands. You quite recently came to Europe, and yeah, what I would like to know is what made you decide to actually take on that adventure and come to Europe.
Yeah. So I always wanted to come to Europe because I've heard such amazing things about the league here in the Netherlands. So it's always been a dream of mine. And then when we failed to qualify for Tokyo, there was this in between time before we would start training again for maybe the World Cup. And I thought, what better place to be than abroad and playing field hockey, where field hockey is the best in the world. So my motivation really was to come here and continue to grow my own game, get some skills under my belt, and play hopefully as many games as possible. Whereas in the US, we don't have very many competitions when you leave college. So I thought that was a great opportunity to come here and also to live with my best friend.
Okay, yeah, that part's living with your best friend. That no one will take it away from you. The playing
Yeah,
as many games as possible. That's another story. But yeah,
exactly.
we'll get there. We'll get there. Talking about because you've been here now in the Netherlands for a couple of months. What do you miss most from home?
Definitely the people, my family, my friends, my dog. Um, but at the same time, I've created a support system here as well. And thanks to FaceTime and texting, it's not as bad, but I definitely miss my team. And when I go back, I'm really excited to start training with them again.
Okay, I can imagine that. Then the other way around. What's the best part of being in Holland for the moment?
Oh, there's so many good things. Oh my gosh. Um, I think one of my favorite parts is just my home here. So it's in the middle of the city. And like I said, I'm living with one of my best friends from college. So I think I'm excited every time I wake up because I'm like, oh, what is this day going to hold? So I can walk out my door and go to coffee shops, go to my yoga studios, shopping. So I think that's really cool coming from Pennsylvania, where I lived mainly in the country.
Yeah, I guess it's a big adventure. Um, Maybe let's look at hockey more specifically. I guess there is a big difference between hockey, how you experienced it back home, and how you grew up with hockey, and the hockey that you're living now every day. Can you describe a
Yes.
bit the biggest difference?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest differences is um, the skill and the comfort on the ball. I've been coaching some camps here also, and the players are so little. They're like 5 years old, and I think starting from that age on a water-based turf gets them comfortable on the ball from a very early age. And you can see that in the players that I play with in the ladies ones team, that they're all super comfortable in their basic skills and have them down pat, so then they can get a little bit more creative and free on the field. Whereas in the US, I think we still are constantly working on those basic skills, and before we can build off of it and get into more difficult skills.
Is that something that you want to bring to back to the States, like change a bit the way to train, to practice?
Yes, definitely. I've already been posting some videos of like the fun skills that I'm learning here that I didn't know we could do. So it's so interesting. There's like this whole like really fun, tricky, the field hockey tricks that you see them doing like on the sideline in their own time that I don't think enough people do in the US. So I want to bring back this like thought of like the fun field hockey skills, the tricks and the just like really cool things that you can do, and hopefully that'll encourage more people to play field hockey and like really fall back in love with it.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk a bit about what the future might bring for more people from the States to come to Europe. Um, to continue on your personal experience, did you put yourself some goals, like when I go abroad, I wanna come back with certain goals, certain targets. I want to get something specifically out of that experience.
Yeah, so before I came here, I did make almost like a checklist because I like to be intentional in what I do. One of my top things, just off the top of my head, was drag flicking specifically. We have a drag flick coach. His name's Brom, and he comes weekly and works with us. So that's something I really wanted to work on while I was here, because I drag flick back home for the U.S. team. But again, the techniques to be able to work with a coach, a specific coach, is just an incredible opportunity. So that was one of them. I wanted to continue to work on my leadership skills. I think it's a really cool thing to come into a team new and have to earn the trust and respect of your team. So I think that's important to just like keep growing and work on those leadership skills in a new group that you're not so comfortable with. I also wanted to, like I said, work on my skills that I don't work on very much back home, the fun skills, the lifts, the kind of fancier skills that I think the coaches here can offer. So those are three of my many goals that I wanted to accomplish while I was here.
Sound exciting. And how is your drag flicking improving?
It is. In the short time that I've been here, I've seen significant improvements, which is so motivating. I really couldn't go high very well before, and I'm starting to learn how to use my wrists and really flick the ball using my wrists so I can go high. And I think I've changed a few things, and it's really helped me. It's very exciting.
It's really a remarkable story also, because like coming to Europe to play in the best league in the world, that makes total sense. About the pure training, you talked about the amazing drag flick training that you have here in Holland. Why do you think that you can't learn such a skills in the same way back in the States? Is it a budget reason? Is it just lack of good trainers, or how do you see that?
I think a lot of it comes down to like the structure in the United States. So we play on field turf almost until college. So you can't really drag flick on a field turf. So you don't learn it maybe until freshman year of college. I was lucky enough to work with the national team when I was in high school. So I was introduced to the skill earlier. And I think we're getting better, and younger girls are starting to want to develop this new skill. But before, I remember I didn't even know what it was until I was much older. So I think that really puts us behind, is just the ability to do the skill on field turf.
Okay.
Because I think there's also coaches who are wanting to learn the skill. And there's tons of coaches coming from abroad that live in the United States that could coach it.
Yeah. And I'm thinking out loud now, but you, yeah, with your company Become Uncommon, you've been into education through video. Maybe we could work more together like that by introducing top drag flick coaches to coaches in the States and to players that want to improve. Is that something that might work?
That would be incredible. And I think it's a gap in the market that's not there. So there's a lot of girls I think that want to learn the skill, but that would really allow them to do that. So yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay. All right. Let's make it happen.
Cool.
All right. Then let's look at all the many girls that don't make the step. I mean, I don't think there are a lot of American girls in the European competitions so far. Um, what's
Yep.
holding them back, in your opinion?
I think because we usually, traditionally, since I've been on the team, have trained full time with the US team. So it's 5 days a week, all year round. And that has not allowed us to travel abroad, even if we wanted to. So this really gap in our schedule was the first opportunity that we had to leave and try something new. And I believe more people wanted to come, and then Corona happened and people ended up not leaving. But going forward with the US team, I really hope that this is an experience that they think is valuable and they allow us to come and play in these leagues more often. And then if you're not on the US team, I highly, highly recommend coming and continuing your game here, because I think this experience is, invaluable.
Yeah, we'll talk about the non-international players in a minute, but just for the national team, I guess you're aware of the situation of the Canadian team. They were,
Mm-hmm.
I think, almost all of them were playing in Belgium and the Netherlands for a season or two, and they basically they all trained here together to
Yeah.
lift up the level of the team. Isn't that something that is possible also for your team?
I would hope so, because even playing them in the Pan Am Games last year, they were incredible. They were really good, and I think that was because most of the team came here and trained. So I think that was a really good decision on their part, on their team, to do that. I think we could definitely try and do that. Um, it's having also a team that's willing to uproot and come. You really have to be bought into what the mission is. And I know the US team is completely dedicated. So I think that we would buy into that if it meant our Paris 2024 dreams could be achieved.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think it would make sense. I also saw the progress that the Canadian team made, and was quite impressive. They just not got the result
Yeah.
of it, but anyway, so I think it can work. But anyway, are all the girls in the national team professional hockey players, or is also that a difficult element for them to move to Europe?
I think a lot of the girls only play field hockey because it has been so demanding. Because we were there at the field from like 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Mm.
So in that aspect, not a lot of us do other jobs right now anyway. So I think that lends itself very well to coming abroad and playing. Um, so I think it's completely possible to have most of the team be able to come.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Then let's
Now
hope.
I'm brainstorming.
Yeah, let's hope the federation and the coaches are watching this, and yeah, things are
Yeah.
moving. Um, no, and then let's look at the other players. I mean, we've done a bit of research about the system, which is obviously different in America compared to Europe. Um,
Hmm.
if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the girls stop playing hockey after university, right? Because there is no real club hockey structure. Um,
Yes.
that's right. Okay. So what is holding them back, in your opinion, to travel abroad and take 1 or 2 years of gap years, let's say, to
Hmm.
experience high level hockey in Europe?
I honestly think it comes down to the work mindset of America. So in college, it's very get your 4 year degree, do your internships, and get a job. So I think the culture itself prevents people from either taking a gap year after high school or a gap year after college. It's more of just a mainline to the rest of your life, which I think people need to take a break, go explore, go play hockey abroad after college, because you're not going to get those opportunities much when you're older. So I really do think it's more of the culture of the United States versus maybe even the structure of USA field hockey. Yes, we could be better and provide clubs, but through SCORE, there are opportunities to play abroad.
Okay. Yeah, it's great to hear, obviously, and so I understand it's a cultural thing. Do you believe that yeah, with doing this yourself now as the captain of the national team, that you can influence a lot of younger girls to do the same in the future?
I hope so. And I hope, even like you said, girls that aren't maybe on the US pipeline yet, but still have that dream to not just give it up after college. You can go to abroad and go to a club and really continue to work on your game and keep that dream alive, and maybe come back when you have a season or two under your belt and try for the national team. So I think it just will make USA Field Hockey as a whole from the top down better, and be an amazing experience for whoever to come to a different culture. So I definitely will be advocating for people to come and play in Europe.
Okay, that's great to hear, Ashley. Um, let's yeah, you talked about scores and yeah, there are other ways to make the step. Do you feel that next to the cultural uh, yeah, the cultural reason that you explained, that there are other more practical reasons, like for people not to come? Is it like they don't know how to, they don't know about the possibility? Is it something that just needs more explanation, more guidance? Is that also a reason?
Yes. Short answer, yes, I definitely think so. Again, thinking just to my own experience, I knew of the different clubs in Europe, but it still was this very vague, very daunting thing. Like, how do I get there? Like visas. Even for me, I had tons of help, and it still was a bit stressful. So I think just spreading the word that it's completely possible and that there are people that will help you makes it a lot more inviting. And yeah, just letting people know in the United States that this is an opportunity that anyone can do, whether you're on the US team or you just want to keep playing field hockey because you love it. So yeah.
And do you, just for, because about what you said with the visa and the difficulties and everything, do you think that the way you did it, that's the way that's accessible to everyone, or
I don't think so, because I had a lot of help from my sponsor, Harrow. So they have been supporting me this entire journey, which has been incredible. But I do realize that not everyone has a sponsor. So that is also maybe some more research that I have to do myself, so I can be a better help and service to people in the US, as to how people can make this transition maybe without a sponsor, or how to fund their visas. So that could be another thing that I can offer. So I'm glad you brought that up.
okay, let's talk about it later, Ashley. It's very
Yeah.
interesting. Um, just a last question. Maybe it's repeating a lot of stuff that you've said already, but if you could give a word of advice to hopefully a lot of young American, and I don't know why I say young, just American girls watching this and thinking about having an experience abroad, what would that advice be?
Advice. One, just go for it. Just easy as that. If you have that little inkling of, oh, I may want to, that seems fun, just go for it. And the hockey world is honestly so supportive and so just encouraging, that people that you don't know yet, they're going to help you. And there's so many connections in this little hockey world that you will be able to. And then I guess my next piece of advice is, if you have a dream, and even if you're not in the USA pipeline, but you have that Olympic dream or you want to stand on a podium, yeah, just keep it alive after college. Go abroad, go play, continue playing, hone in your skills, and yeah, keep fighting for what you want.
Okay, that's a great inspirational last advice, Ashley. Thanks a lot for this and for everything you share with us today. I wish you hopefully a very good last part of the season. Actually, it's almost more than half a season left
Yeah.
in Holland, and we'll talk soon.
Well, thank
Thanks
you
a
for
lot.
having me. This is great.
Thank you, Ashley.